Got packbait? Make pellets. Why, you ask? Well, because your packbait is going to break down and put a bunch of scent into the water. That's going to get the attention of a nearby carp. And when he comes around to see what smells so good, the only substantial chunk of food is going to be your hookbait, which, if you make pellets from your packbait, is going to smell just like what brought him over in the first place. It's kind of like matching the hatch. The carp will be rooting around in the silt, picking up a few crumbs of packbait here and there. He's going to see your pellet, suck it up and run. And then he's going to be in for a big surprise. What's happening? Today I'm going to make packbait pellets. So if you have some leftover packbait from your last fishing excursion, hopefully it doesn't smell bad. Hopefully it hasn't been too long since you've been carp fishing. Actually smells pretty good. I can tell I went heavy on the maple extract last time I made packbait. So just take your leftover packbait, put it in your food processor or blender or anything that can grind it up. Add some semolina flour or baking flour. I use baking flour if I want it to be more buoyant. That's not necessary right now because the weeds haven't really come in yet. So I really want it to be close to the bottom or on the bottom. When I come up with a hook bait that's perfect, then I'll figure out the exact measurements and I'll let you know. But right now I've got packbait. It's a little dried out, which is good. Because the drier your dry mix, the more liquid flavoring you can add, or the more egg. The more egg you have, the more buoyant it will be also. So I have my old packbait. I got some semolina flour. Don't have baking flour right now. Your packbait probably already has krill powder in it. It should. But wouldn't hurt to add a little bit more. Krill powder. What's this? Oh, this week's experiment is garbanzo flour. Why, you ask? Why not, I say. You can't discover stuff if you don't try stuff, am I right? Or in the immortal words of Pastor Tom Leary, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. So mix it up, try new stuff. Okay, so now you have your dry mix. Put it in a mixing bowl. You know what? Let me put it in so I can do my wet mix in the mixing bowl. I'm going to do this with just one egg. You can do 2 eggs or 3 eggs depending on how much you want to make. Mix your egg up with extracts for flavoring. Today we're going to go with banana. Butter. Food coloring if you want. I'll put a little red in there. Always add your dry mix to your wet mix. Getting real close. Once your ingredients stop sticking to the bowl, you know you're getting close. But if it's too wet, it's hard to roll into balls. Keep adding dry mix until your dough is dry enough to roll into balls. But once you get your dough thick enough to where you can roll it into balls, you can use it as a hook bait just like that. It won't work on a hair rig, but you could just put dough on a hook, free line it, split shot it. Still a little wet. Getting real close though. Uh-oh. Hope I didn't go too far. Find out right now. That, notice how it's not sticking to the bowl so much. It's still a little wet. So here's the test. It is rolling. It's rolling into a ball, but it's still sticking to my hands a lot. So I'm going to add a little bit more dry mix. Looking pretty good. That's gonna be perfect, I think. So I put a little of my leftover dry mix at the bottom of the plate because when you microwave it, this is still a little bit wet. It will stick to the plate. And you want to be able to turn the pellets every 20 seconds while you're microwaving it. If it's stuck, you won't be able to do that. And if you don't turn it, the bottom of your pellets will burn. Doesn't matter what shape you make it. You can make them into balls or pellets. I shape these into pellets. I shape my packbait pellets into pellets so that when I look into my bait bag, I know they're packbait pellets. Because my boilies are round. You can make them as big as you want, small as you want. This time of year, the water's still cold. You're not going to be able to digest a lot of food, so you might want to use smaller pellets. But if you're fishing in a lake that has a lot of trout love these. You don't want to catch trout, or at least I don't want to catch trout. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with trout. It's just that, you know, you've got your rig set up, you've got your hair rig, your pellet on it, and if your trout are biting every 10 seconds, you're going to go through a lot of bait, and you're going to have to recast, reset up your rigs constantly. So if you're fishing in a lake that has a lot of trout, you might want to make your pellets a little bigger so that they can't swallow them. Keep in mind also that when you microwave these, they're going to expand a little bit. So whatever size you want to make them a little smaller, because they're gonna get bigger when you microwave them. Okay, we're ready for microwaving. Remember, all microwaves are different. So for my microwave, which isn't very powerful, I microwave for 60 seconds, turning the pellet a little bit every 20 seconds. If you don't, the bottom will burn. I'm not sure if that's a bad thing, but I don't like the smell, so I don't think the carp will like the smell. I don't really know. It's another experiment for another day. Now all that's left to do is attach your pellet to your hair rig Put some pack bait around your feeder. If your pack bait is too dry, you can always just take a spray bottle, preferably with water in it, and just spray it down, mix it up a little more. But you don't want it to be too wet. You want your pack bait to break down once it's in the water. The more quickly that your pack bait breaks down, the more scent you're going to be putting into the water. And that's what attracts the carp. This part is just attached to the hook, but this is what's going to bring them in. Anyway, now go fish, and good luck out there.